Flesh and Blood's newest set, The Hunted, was already pumped up in the hype. But now also their world premiere event for The Hunted is sold out. So LR Events, the organizer for the event in Europe, Prague, just announced that, the world premiere on the Friday event for January is sold out completely. And they are even saying they are having 900 players total in the world premiere, and also that their second biggest event on that weekend, The Calling, Prague, is also nearly sold out. So seeing here on the Facebook side, they are saying that they are nearly selling 800 players here in The Calling. And let's just jump into actually the event website. I will be going to the world premiere The Hunted for sure. I got my ticket early on and also booked everything. But there are already different packages available that you can still buy, but you can't enter into the world premiere anymore. So the first event where we can actually play with the new booster set, The Hunted, because this world premiere is exclusively for those people who will be playing with the new set before it is released and even before the pre-release weekend. But you can still come and play in The Calling. Maybe even after this video is out, The Calling is also sold out. I'm recording this in the morning. I'm going to the gym, but I saw this and I thought, like, this is definitely a sign that Flesh and Blood is booming. And not only is it booming, I really think that 2025 could be the next big year for Flesh and Blood, because 900 players in the world premiere sold out that early on is definitely a sign that new players are so interested in the game, and also that more competitive players are coming from all around the world to this world premiere. I even think about what really makes it that interesting, because of course, like, the promotion is amazing. The heroes that we were spoiled so far are looking really nice. And when you go to the world premiere, The Hunted site, you can even see, you can't even press the button anymore, even though it says on the first side you can buy now, but you can't really buy it anymore. So world premiere The Hunted is definitely sold out. And I think even also these promotional items, they will be pretty sought after on the secondary market after this announcement. But there are still other events going on. Like I said, it is not only the world premiere that we are having here with this event. We are also having The Calling, which will go on Saturday and Sunday, and then also the Battle Harden, which will be played on Sunday only. But keep in mind, these are all the Hunted events, so we will not play Constructed in here. We will be playing Sealed. And also, I think it is it's a heavenly sign, right? It's a heavenly sign, not in heavenly, maybe even in heavenly, but because the question is, why are so many people now gathering here for this event? Of course, the new set is looking so nice, but there are other reasons, I think, that are, getting us forward to this event actually. And they are not really on the side where the world premiere The Hunted is laid out, I think. Keep in mind, all of the different prizes that you can win in all of these events are pretty amazing, and that is a sign, I think, that also other things are happening in the next year. Not only are we getting so many more beginner products, and also we are having this new mastery pack announced for even the first round of the year, but there's also the World Tour that was announced at the World Championship in Osaka. And of course, again, Flesh and Blood is giving out $1.5 million as a prize pool for the next year, but they are changing something up here. And I think that is also what made so many existing players in Flesh and Blood that interested in the world premiere The Hunted, because you can actually gather points for the World Tour. And the World Tour is actually something, I think, that is it's inspired by Magic the Gathering, where people or players around the world are actually incentivized to travel all around the world, gather points, and then getting additional prizes for performing in these events. And when we see how many events are planned for the next year, it is not only the Hunted World Premiere that will be very interesting in the next year, and that's why I'm titling this video also, Flesh and Blood is doing really good, it's booming, because there are so many events planned and so many competitive players interested in this very competitive game that we're not only having the World Championship, we're also having 2 Pro Tours. And then we're having all of these smaller, don't get me wrong, these events are not really small. The callings are usually pretty big, but there are so many other events that you can participate in and then earn these World Tour points. And you're not only having the chance to win prizes at these events themselves, from the $1.5 million prize pool, but you are also having the chance, if you are performing really well in these events, to gather all of these points, and then the best players, the world's best players, are not only having the chance to win the World Championship, but also getting the title of the World Tour Champion, I think is the name, right? The Player of the Year. And they are not only giving out money to the one Player of the Year, they're giving out multiple prizes to the best performing players in these World Tours. So let us look actually a little bit closer here what you're actually getting when you are performing well in these events. And the first player, the Player of the Year, is getting $25,000, which is heavily a big price. But they are also giving out 2 regional champions, winning $15,000 each, 3 second place regional champions, winning $10,000, and 3 third players placing regional champions, winning $5,000 each. So it is even active now from November 2024 with the Battle Hunt Hiroshima, and they are going all forward to the World Championship in 2025. So that is, for me, definitely a big sign that the Hunted is for sure a very interesting event for these competitive players. I'm very curious to see how many new players are actually gathering for this world premiere in Prague. If you are there, let's meet up and talk about it. But also here for the last thing, let's actually look at these chances that you're having as a new player also to participate, because not only are these bigger events coming, but you're also having these local tournaments, the Road to Nationals, the skirmish seasons, the Pro Quests, and also of course in June the National Championship, which I have to say, even though I am for 3.5 years into Flesh and Blood, for nearly 4 years, I have never been playing in the national championships. I don't think I will make it in the next year, but maybe we see us there too. Guys, it is an exciting time to be a Flesh and Blood player, and I think if you're joining this community now, it's the perfect timing. Flesh and Blood is 5 years old. It has stand the first big test of time, I think. The 5-year mark is one of the marks that a lot of TCG players are saying that new games are either failing or they're making it. And now we are seeing that actually Flesh and Blood can make it in the next year. They are not longer these 1 to 4 or 5 years into the game. We are actually entering the 6th year of the game with a lot of exciting news, a lot of exciting products, all of these Armory decks that we are having, and these new Armory decks that are coming to introduce new players to the game, which I'm super excited about. These Armory decks are so good. We will definitely make more videos about the Armory decks here on the Fabled Academy. So if you want to see those, definitely subscribe to the channel. But I'm also so interested to see all of the competitive players even competing a lot harder in the next year for these world points. All of the players that I've met throughout this YouTube channel. And I think it is a really big incentive, because as I was entering Flesh and Blood 3 or 4 years ago, I talked to a lot of Magic pros from back then, or people that were having these stories in their mind about this, Hall of Fame. And I think really it is for those players who are coming from Magic, they are traveling back in time. They're experiencing these old days again, but also these new players like me that have never even experienced something like that. We can experience it now. And I think that is so amazing. And I'm so thankful that Flesh and Blood lets us experience these things. And keep in mind, even though when you are coming from a game like Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh! Or another TCG, Flesh and Blood is something really different. I think, of course, you can compare it, but it is a standalone TCG. Of course, there are similarities, which I also like to point out on the channel, but it is a really unique playstyle, and I love to play Flesh and Blood, even on the casual side here at my local game store in Germany, where I come from. But it's something very different, and I'm so happy that more players are getting, to try it out, to come into the game and either experience it for them or saying, hey, it's not really for me. That's okay too, right? But definitely a good sign for me. Also, we are having the name for the set after the Hunted, right? The Smashing Palace. And I'm really hoping that is a Brute set, actually. I'm not sure if it was that clearly announced yet, but I really hope that even though we're having all of this hype around Flesh and Blood, that they are not speeding up things too fast in the next year, because I love to see all of the new things. But I also think a question that a lot of people are having is if it's too fast, actually. And I'm playing Sorcery TCG Toon. That game is very slow, and I really hope that the speed is not too fast in the next year, and that it's also not speeding up way faster than afterwards. But we will see that in the next year for sure. Guys, that's basically it. If you liked the video, also make sure to like the video as well. Also, if you want to support the channel a little bit further, check out the Patreon link down in the description for the Fabled Academy, and also we have the YouTube channel memberships available. So, if you're new to this channel, my name is Alex. If you stick so far along into the video, thank you so much for tuning in today. And also check out other videos about Flesh and Blood on the Fabled Academy, guys. We see us in the next video.